All right, well, if you're watching this video, welcome to an installment, actually the first installment of the Meliora Group Agent Interviews. And the purpose of these are just for you out there to just meet some of our agents, and we can talk a little bit about their experiences, and so you know a little more what it's like to be working with us. So for your pleasure this evening, we have Stephanie Baker. She's one of our agents who's been with us about a year now and done some great things. Had a pretty decently big week last week, a little over $7,000, so congratulations on that. And Steph, why don't you just tell us a little bit about kind of your experience this last year? You came from out of industry, so you can maybe talk about that and go from there.
Okie doke. I was in corporate America for about 25 years with some pretty big names in the advertising field. I found Chris Moody through an online ad, and I was kind of hesitant when we started talking because then I realized it was all about life insurance, and I'm thinking, I really don't think I want to get into life insurance. Actually, when I put everything down for what I was looking for in my next position, the Meliora Group, right down the line. I mean, I was just, Chris, this is amazing. Everything I'm looking for, you're telling me that you guys offer. So it was a really good fit. And what I'm finding is, unlike other positions in corporate America, everything is just matching up. Chris didn't make any promises that weren't going to happen. So, you know, what I'm finding here also is the harder you work, the more you're going to succeed. Which is important when you're working on in this type of environment.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I hear from a lot of people when I'm interviewing them, especially coming from another IMO, they'll just talk about how their experience was, somebody gave them a couple of applications and gave them a pat on the butt and said, go get them, Tiger. And so, I think we pride ourselves on trying to really do a thorough job of training people. So maybe you can just speak to that a little bit, kind of your onboarding experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was a concern of mine, being outside of the insurance business and not knowing anything about life insurance. It was a concern that I would get in and then not have the support and not be able to stay. So what I found with you and Chris and the rest of the group is, no matter what I needed, what kind of support I needed, questions, I always got fantastic answers, things that were very thorough. Like I said before, every promise was kept. And I really feel as though if you come into life insurance, this is no better environment. It's much better environment than anywhere else because the amount of support is probably unrivaled.
Yeah, and I always tell people when they're coming, especially if they're coming from out of industry, that one of the things we do is try to talk to our new agents in every house, and you still talk to us in most houses even now. And was that a big part of what made it easy for you?
If I didn't have the upline calls with you and Jim and Chris, I wouldn't have been able to do it. There's just no way. Even now, I probably call up to, in 99.9%. I really feel as though when you're in a home and you call up to another person, it just kind of gives you a better image. I'm all about image because I was in the advertising industry, so it's really important to me. Plus, getting a good, solid answer with where to go, what insurance company to call, so that the underwriting's done like really just within us. It just makes the process so much easier for the potential insured.
That's good. Well, and so now you're just turning the corner with us to kind of going from just regular agent to now, managing. So we've put a couple people in your car so far. Like I said, you're just kind of cresting that corner. But I always like to tell people that's one of the things we do a little differently is, nobody pressures the agent and, to go out and build a team or any of that kind of stuff. And I guess maybe you can kind of confirm that we've been a little different than probably what some people have experienced at other IMOs.
Okay, certainly. Well, here, what I was looking for was the opportunity to bring some of my mentoring and managing into this position. So I welcomed it. But for someone who really isn't interested in getting into responsibilities like that, I mean, there's certainly no pressure at all. And if, they just want to continue going out and being in the field on their own, sure. I mean, there's no pressure at all from anybody else. Yeah, it's just,
Yeah, because it's really hard. I talk to people from other agencies all the time who have really struggled with trying to, go out and build themselves a team, but then they lose all their time in the field. Plus, they have to spend money on recruiting and all that. And I'm always just telling people they're just not going to find that with us. We're just very different model.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, the other thing is, people need to know that what they need, they can find here. So, like, I have that types of needs to give back, allow other people to achieve big things. But if someone doesn't have that knack of talents, then certainly they don't need to. That's fine.
Yeah. So what advice would you give somebody who's thinking about, they're from out of industry, but they're thinking about maybe taking a step into the final expense market?
Well, here's the deal as far as, what I've experienced is I was interviewing other places, looking around in other industries for like sales type of thing. The thing is, you can't really call this a sales position because it's not about selling. It's about going in and talking to people and figuring out what they need. Mm-hmm. It's more of a need assessment.
Yeah, it's a helping industry.
It really is. That's all it's really about. I don't really think like it's a hardcore sales. That's not necessary at all because you've already established that they have the need, and whether we can help them is really what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. In addition to that, the thing that really separates this is you're working for yourself. You're the CEO. That can be a double-edged sword. What you need to make sure of is that you are self-motivating. If you're not self-motivating and able to get the job done, you're not going to be able to meet your goals here. It's just plain and simple. You need to get out of bed every day. But other than that, it's really like, it's about running your own business. But the way that it differs is that you have a ton of people with you who are willing to give you the advice and the support that you need in order to succeed. I really don't think that with our group, anyone could, if they're really giving 100%, it's kind of, the system is no fail.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I always tell people is if you don't cheat the system won't cheat you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think that kind of wraps up. Just wanted to, just cover a couple bases for people. I'm sure there's people, that are watching YouTube and just wondering if this is the next career path for them and trying to investigate. And we just want them to know that this is a good home to find. And by the way, if you're out watching this video and you're in the Northeast, the Delaware, Philadelphia, New Jersey area, and would like to do a ride along with Stef, I'm sure she'd be willing to put you in her car and show you the ropes a little bit. And so just contact us at themelioragroup.com and we'd be happy to put you in touch with her. And so hope you enjoyed our video and stay tuned. And don't forget to click the subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.